Seventh grade for me was an interesting year. It was the year where I would travel the furthest I ever did on my own just to get to school. I would have to go from Brooklyn all the way to the Lower East Side of Manhattan by myself. I was so tight that I wouldn't be starting junior high school with the rest of my friends back in Brooklyn. And to make matters worse, it was the year 2001. The year 2001 was the year of the attacks on the World Trade Center. I was in school on the Lower East Side of Manhattan when it happened. To make matters worse than that, I had to take the J train to school every day over the Williamsburg Bridge and past the Manhattan skyline. Now, my mom really didn't want me to give up my seat at Catholic school, and so the following months were a little bit difficult, right up until about the new year. In 2002, the R&B singer Ashanti hit the scene and came out with this song called Foolish. Now, if you know that song, you know that it samples the instrumental to this Biggie song called One More Chance, and it solved all my problems. Now, I know the months following the attacks of the World Trade Center was difficult for a lot of people, a lot more difficult than a 12-year-old kid trying to get to school. But that Ashanti song brought me so much comfort because it just reminded me of being a kid and listening to Biggie. Soon after that, my mom told me that the Biggie song isn't even where that instrumental originated. Turns out this group called DeBarge was the original creators of that song. I learned a very important lesson about comfort and safety that year. And that lesson was this: the cultural things that we love so much can sometimes go further back than we think. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Greg, back for another episode of All Black Everything. Now, I know this video just got started, but I can tell you already like it, so go ahead and hit that like button. We tend to get into some pretty interesting conversation on this channel, so I want to encourage you, hit that comment section and let me know if you got something you want to say or any questions you might want to ask. Last but not least, go ahead and subscribe. It's the best thing you can do to make sure that you always know when I drop a video. Now, if you read the title to today's video, then I'm guessing you already got your seatbelt on and you're ready to go there. Today, we're going to be talking about the N-word. Yes, that N-word. Now, first things first, there's the word nigger, spelled with the ER at the end. And that term is a derogatory term made up by white slave owners in America to degrade black people. Not to be confused with the slang term nigga, spelled with the A at the end in place of the ER. Nigga is the reclaimed phrase by black people in America. Although it's similar in spelling, it does not share the same meaning, and it can be used in a myriad of ways as seen in black expression.
My nigga. Really, nigga?
Nigga! I feel like you get the point. Now, I don't want to spend too much time on how to use the word because my guess is you've probably heard it at some point. Now, the integration of that word into hip hop, movies, art, and overall black culture has kind of muddied the rights to the word. Because black culture is so widely stolen, consumed by so many different walks of life that people have had to question whether or not to say it when singing along to their favorite hip hop song or watching their favorite black movie. Most specifically, white people have received the most backlash for using that word, probably because they resemble the white slave owners in America who coined the term and meant for it to be evil and harmful. Now, remixed or not, I personally think that white people should just stay clear of anything that resembles the ugly US history of their forefathers. There's a rule that I use in life that I think really applies here, and it's this: if you have to think about whether or not you should or shouldn't, you probably should not. Now, I know it's so hard to be captivated and enjoy a culture that you love so much, but you just can't say this one thing, and therein lies the problem. Historically, white people have never been okay with people telling them what they can't do. And so what we found is that whenever white people come face to face with challenges about what they're not allowed to do, it usually resolves in great conflict. Now, historically speaking, as black people in America began to defy the original purpose that the white colonizer had for them, we kind of took the word nigger on the way out with us. It's ours. We lay claim to it. We took it on the way out as America rejected us as even being human. And no, it's not offensive when we use it to address one another, but it is offensive when those who resemble the people of the original harmful version use it. In modern day expression, that term has gotten so far from its original purpose, but it's still not okay for white people to use it. And I can't tell you why we hold so tightly to that word. It's sort of become this unifier, kind of like an indication that I know what you know and you've been through what I've been through and we share that thing and no one else can. And I mean, technically, it's not even just white people. When Ja Rule and Murder Inc. went on that record-breaking streak of just dropping hit after hit after hit in the early 2000s, J-Lo got a little bit of flack too for using the N-word, even though she didn't even write the lyrics to the song. On the remix to her hit song I'm Real that included Ja Rule, she included a lyric that had the word nigga in it, and it didn't really go over with black people too well. Now, even though she's Jenny from the block and she gets the culture and she grew up in it, she's still not that version of black that had to struggle the way we did. And I think that's why we hold so tightly to that term. I think one major question that really needs to be addressed is, should anyone say the word? I mean, I get it. Given its really crazy history, should we just get rid of the word altogether? I really don't think we should. That word has become a form of art, a form of expression. And in a country like the one we represent, that shouldn't be limited and it shouldn't be censored. I mean, black people stand by this, and it's that the word has been reclaimed. As black people fought through segregation, discrimination, and a systemic structure built to keep them oppressed, art was created. And black people used that word to paint their expressions onto the African American experience. It came out in our songs and in our films, and much like the food scraps and harsh living conditions from times of slavery, black people took what was given to them and made it something beautiful. So beautiful that people are still fighting over who can and can't consume what we made. And that includes the N-word. So let's recap. It started out as nigger, a derogatory term used by white slave owners. Black people took the word, reclaimed it, reimagined it, reused it, turned it into a slang word, nigga, used it to address one another in love and confusion, happiness, sadness, and anger. Our word, used in our art. Can white people say it? I mean, technically it's a free country. You can say whatever you want. Should white people say it? Nah. My name is Greg, and this has been another episode of All Black Everything. Peace.